Okay, now here's how we would graph. First off, I need to know if there's a second power. There is, okay? Second power, so it's going to be a parabola, and we have a positive, so it's going to look like this, okay? Now, when I graph parabolas, I need 3 points, one for the middle, and then 2 on the outside, okay? Here's how I figure this out. I make 3 coordinates for x, y. Now, we want to figure out this middle first, okay, because that is the vertex point. So the vertex. The formula for the vertex, again, is the opposite of b divided by 2 times a, okay? So this is a, this is b. So the opposite of b is negative 12, okay? And after that, thanks, Pam. I appreciate it. And I'll try that other overhead and see if I can get that to work. Okay. All right, and then 2 times a, so it'd be 2, and a is 3. Okay. So I have negative 12, and 2 times 3 is 6. Now I divide those. Negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. Okay. So I put a negative 2. And then what I do is I plus 1 and minus 1 is what I do. So to find my other x coordinates, I plus 1 to that. So negative 1 is a coordinate I'll use up here for x. And then I minus 1 from the negative 2. Okay, so negative 3. That's the best way to do it. You could also plus 3, minus 3. You could plus 4, minus 4. Okay, now what I do is I simply insert these in for x. Okay, so I've got 3, and when I come to the x, I'm going to put negative 1 in a parentheses to the second power and keep going. So plus 12, and I'm going to put a negative 1 and then add 8. Okay, so negative 1, that's a coordinate. Okay, now I put negative 2, so 3, negative 2 to the second, plus 12. Now I put negative 2 in, plus 8. Okay, that gave me negative 4. So my vertex is negative 2, negative 4. Now, I'm actually expecting this to be the same as it is up here. Okay, we'll see if it's right. I want to at least make sure, okay, because if it's not, we got something wrong. Okay, and I did. It was the same. Okay. All right, now here's how I graph this. So negative 1, negative 1. I go left 1 and down 1. Okay. Negative 2, negative 4. So I go left 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. And negative 3, negative 1. I go left 1, 2, 3, and down 1. Okay. And there's my parabola. Just like it, and it's just like I predicted it was going to look like. Okay, my next one. Again, the second power's there, so it's a parabola, and that's positive, so it'll be right side up. So we have 3 points we need to figure out. And I will figure this one out first, okay, because that's the vertex. I have a way of figuring out the vertex with the opposite of b divided by 2 times a. Okay, so the opposite of b, well, that would be negative 4. And then I take 2 times 1, so it's negative 4 divided by 2. And now I divide negative 4 by 2, and that equals negative 2. So that's my vertex. Now remember, I plus 1 and minus 1. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative, is negative 1. Okay, and now I take negative 2 minus 1. That's negative 3. Okay. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to replace all the x's. To find my y's, it's easy. I just replace the x's with these and following numbers. So first thing I'm going to do is put the negative 1 in. 1, negative 1 to the second, plus 4, negative 1, and then plus 4, so that's 1. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the negative 2 in. So 1 parentheses negative 2 to the second plus 4 times negative 2 plus 4 is 0. That is our vertex point. So 1 times negative 3 to the second plus 4 times negative 3 plus 4, and that's going to be 1. Okay. All right, so we just got to get those 3 points graphed after all that. So I go left 1, up 1, okay, from the middle. Okay, I go left 2 and then stay, okay, from the middle. And then I go left 3 and up 1. So 1, 2, 3, up 1. Okay, so we have a parabola. Actually, I can see the x-intercept. That is the vertex. Okay, it doesn't always happen that way, but yeah. Okay, my next problem. Again, the second power's there, and we have a positive in front of it, so that means it's going to look like this. Okay, so again, I know that's A and that's B. So I will be taking the opposite of B divided by 2 times A. Okay, so the opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. And then I take 2 times 2. Okay, so I have 6 in the numerator, and bottom denominator I have 4. Okay, so I take 6 divided by 4, and that's 1.5. Okay, and then I plus 1 minus 1 from that. So 1.5 plus 1 is 2.5. Sometimes you get decimals. That's okay. Normally they're 0.5s, though. Okay, so I take 1.5 minus 1, and that's 0.5. Okay, and then I replace the x's. Okay, so I've got 2.5 to the second, minus 6, and then 2.5, and then plus 5. That gives me 2.5, so I actually got 2.5 and 2.5. Now I plug in 1.5, so 2 times 1.5 to the second power, minus 6 times 1.5, then plus 5, 0.5. Okay, and then I put 0.5, so 0.5 to the second, minus 6, 0.5, and then plus 5, and that's 2.5. Okay, so graphing decimals can be a little bit confusing. So what I do here is I go left 2.5, up 2.5. So 1, 2, and then half, and then 1, 2, and then half right there. Okay. Okay, 1.5, 0.5. So I go 1 and then half. Okay, I go 1 and then half, then just half. Okay. Well, I graphed that wrong. Okay, 2.5, 2.5. This one should have went this way and up. So 1, 2, half, 1, 2, and half. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, 0.5. So half up. So half, 1, 2, and then half. Okay, so there we have it, and there's my beautiful parabola. Okay. It's a curve. Don't just draw a V shape. It's not a V. It's a curve. Okay, it's like a ball going up in the air. Okay, this one, the second power is there, and we have a negative, so it will go this way. Okay, but I still need to be able to find the vertex point. Okay, so this is my vertex. Now, this is A, but the problem is that's not A. That's C. Okay, so opposite of B divided by 2 times A. Well, B isn't even here. There is no B. So this is 0. And then 2 times negative 2. So we have 0 in the numerator. And it doesn't really matter what we come out with in the denominator because 0 divided by anything is 0. Okay, and then plus 1, minus 1. So I add 1 and I minus 1. Okay, so really all I have to do is figure that out. So negative 2 plus 6. So that's 4. Now I'm going to put 0 in. That's 6. And now I'm going to put negative 1 in. That's 4. Okay. All right, so now we can go graph it. So right up, so 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 6, I stay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the vertex is actually the y-intercept, and that's always going to happen if the b is 0. So left 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, the last one you can't overthink. This time there is no second power, so this will not be a parabola. If there's no second power, it's a line. Now, at this point in time, instead of using the slope to graph the line, I would just say, okay, it's a line, so it doesn't really matter what I pick for x. I'm just going to go 0, 1, 2. Okay, just don't worry about it. Okay, so I can, because it doesn't matter what we pick.